today I'm testing this, the Culiau Customizer. Advertised as a lightweight, powerful and portable engraving tool. I'm really excited to give this a go. This isn't a sponsored video, but Culiau have sent me this for free. I was very clear with them that I would give my honest opinion. Let's put this thing through its paces and see how it performs. In the box you get a pen, a set of engraving tools, a charging cable, a set of tiny screws, a burr and an Allen key. Now I normally use a manicure's nail drill. The shafts on this engraving pen are exactly the same diameter as what I already use and will fit my nail drill. So I'm really happy that I can interchange those with the set I already have. If you happen to use a Dremel to carve, Dremel bits, the shafts on those have a slightly wider diameter, so they won't fit this tool. Okay, the drill bits, you've got a good selection of different sizes, and the burr is really good actually. It's similar to the nucleating burr that I have with my that I got separately in my other set. However, this one is ever so slightly larger. The only issue I found is on one of the point was slightly off center, so you weren't really getting a thin straight line with that one. It would end up being slightly wider than the diameter of the point, but there's plenty of other pointy bits within the set, so that wasn't too much of an issue. Now, if you watch to the end of this video, I'll be talking a little bit more about this stencil, but essentially I've got my stencil and I've glued it to the front of my foam pumpkin. And at this stage, I'm mainly going to use the burr attachment. This burr is really great. It's very good at getting through the paper and removing the first section or the first bit of paint. And straight out the gate, I'm extremely impressed with the power they've managed to get into such a small device. For something so small and so lightweight, it's cutting through the foam with no problem at all. At this stage though, I'm only taking off a small amount. If I was to try and go sort of deep into the pumpkin, the motor might start to struggle. But for my carving style, it works perfectly well. I like to find the shape that I'm going to carve out first on the stencil. I'll cut out that shape and then remove the paint and sort of gradually start going deeper into the pumpkin. I don't like to go too deep too quickly. There's hardly any vibration with this tool. Something which I really struggled with your higher power rotary tools like your Dremels was the amount of vibration that they can kick off. It's quite a quiet device, so I really like that. Now the bits, they just push into the pen and will lock in place once you start the pen up. My immediate thought was, well, you know, is that going to be strong enough to do it? But then they had also included these little screws, so if you did need to tighten it up, you could use those. The locking system has held the bit in brilliantly, so I've not found any need to have to use the little screws which go into the side, which then just means when I'm swapping between the bits, I can just pull them out. The pen itself has 3 settings, a slow, medium and a fast. Once you start it, then you have to cycle through 3 times to turn it back off again. What I find quite annoying with this was having to cycle through the power modes to stop it every time I wanted to change the bits. I'm used to using a foot pedal on my nail drill, which it doesn't control the speed of it, but what it does do is it's a quick stop, so you just click with your foot, stops the drill completely, allows you to change, and then you take your foot off and it'll start up again at the speed that you had it set to. Just as I'm getting into the carve, the battery dies. I've been carving for just over an hour. I have been flicking between the settings. I was mindful that I wanted to see just how much battery life I could get out of this, so I've been mainly flicking between the lowest and middle power rating. The highest power rating, I didn't think you really needed that. The middle setting was ample for what I was using it for. I'm going to put this thing on charge, and while I'm waiting for that to charge, I'm going to carry on with my mains powered drill. About 50 minutes later, the customizer is pretty much fully charged. So I switch back to that. You know, I want to give this thing a decent chance. But I keep at it with the customizer. Again, after about an hour, the battery goes again. I stick it back onto charge, switch back over to my nail drill. In the end, it gets, I must admit, that the customizer gets a little frustrating. Also, not having the quick stop action, so being able to have a foot pedal attached to my nail drill, I've realised I've become quite dependent on. It's quite frustrating having to cycle through the power settings each time. It'd be so much easier if they just had an on-off button and then a power setting button, so you could turn it off and on with one click. Truth be told, it'd be so much easier if they could do that and have it a mains power cord attached to it. I think that would be an absolute game changer for the use of this pen with me. If you're a casual carver, or for any reason you want something which is super lightweight, low noise, low vibration, then maybe this might be a tool for you. But the battery life on this is a huge problem for me. This pumpkin ended up taking me just over 20 hours to carve. So if I would have used exclusively the Culiau and having to wait to charge between carving sessions, it would have nearly doubled that. Obviously, if I had two of these, I probably could have rotated between the two. But when you're buying two, that then puts you in the price range of my nail drill, which weight, sound and vibration wise is, you know, very similar to the Culiau. I mean, you know, look at that, it's just slightly larger, it's got a slightly more powerful motor because obviously there's not having to house a battery in there as well. I'm fairly impressed with the power of this thing. That's not the issue, but I think to get that amount of power in there, they've had to make certain sacrifices with the battery. If you want to find out more about the stencil I'm using in this video, then you should check out this video up here. I hope you found it useful. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. So I'll see you in the next one.